If you've updated your PC to the latest version of Windows 11, the latest patches, you've no doubt seen you've got a new icon, and it's this one right down here, which is the CoPilot Preview. Now, for those of you that haven't used CoPilot yet, it's basically the same thing as the Bing AI that you're going to find in the Edge browser. So if we go and open up a new Edge browser, and we just come over here and hit this little Bing icon, you're going to see that the back end is kind of ChatGPT, and we've got 3 different conversation styles: a creative style, a balanced style, a precise style, and you can go ahead and ask it something. So we'll just say, write a PowerShell script to calculate the number of sleeps until Christmas. Okay, so there's the script. There's no real surprises there. So let's go and open up a copy of PowerShell. And I'm just going to paste that in. And it says there's 83 sleeps until Christmas. So that's fairly useful. If you don't know how to do this sort of stuff, you can pretty much search for anything. And it's kind of cool. So that's the Edge version. And if we were to actually just take let's just pick this one here, this article. And if we were to just grab, say, a copy of, here's a snipping tool here, of, say, this picture, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't automatically just dump that into here. And if we ask it, please summarize the web page in Edge at the moment. And that didn't spell summarize right, but it doesn't really matter. All right, so these are some of the things that it can't do. It can't identify what's on this web page. It can't go ahead and analyze this image that I have on my clipboard. It can, however, actually take an image if you want to add one. So we can paste a link, or we could upload one. So let me just add an image here. This is one I took around New Year's. It is of my neighbor actually, on a paddleboard in our backyard, which is near the beach. So I could just say, please explain this image. Now, sometimes this part can take a while. I tend to find it takes somewhere between, let's just say, 30 seconds and a minute and a half to go ahead and do its thing. It really depends on the size of the image. This one here is about 400K, so it's not a very large image. And I'd wager it's not a very complex one, but it does tend to do a lot better with cartoon style images, because obviously they're a lot less complex than perhaps something like this. But, you know, it does a pretty good job in most cases. So let's just see what this comes back with. Okay, all right, well, that's a massive fail. I'm sorry, but I can't see the image you're referring to. Hopeless, absolutely hopeless. All right, well, that is Bing on Microsoft Edge. And I can understand why so many people get frustrated with it, and I can understand why my video on how to remove it was actually so popular. But anyway, this is the Bing chat that we've been used to. So let's just sort of park this to the side for a second. Okay, so let's open up this one here. So we've got the CoPilot Preview. We'll open that up. It opens up on the right-hand side, very similar to the way the Bing one did, but this is now on our Windows desktop. So this can actually do a few things that the other one could not do. So it says, ask me anything. All right, well, some of the things that it actually tells you that it can do is, you know, change from dark mode to light mode. So let's just do that. I mean, it's a popular choice anyway. So change to Windows light mode. Okay, would I like to turn off dark mode? Yes. That's, you know, this is one of the things that you'll find is quite annoying with this product. It's that it continually asks you, do you want to do this? And it would be nice to have an overriding setting where you can say, look, I give permission for it to open this app, and just keep doing it. But it asks you every time, and it's quite infuriating. So let's just change back to it's dark. Okay, would I like to switch to dark mode? Yes, I do. Okay, so there's a couple of things we can do here. Let's just minimize that window. So we can obviously now open up applications. So we can say open Notepad, and it's going to open Notepad after, of course, it asks me, do you want to open up Notepad? Yes. Now, that obviously took about 10 seconds to open Notepad. Now, admittedly, in comparison, if I hit Windows key and I just start typing in Notepad, that took about 2 seconds. Now, one of the things I did try in this version was obviously to utilize a search on summarize this web page. And obviously it wouldn't do it. Now that I have this open, let's just say summarize the Edge web page. Let's just see what that does now. Okay, first time we do this, we can allow it, and I will do that. If we come up here to the three little dots and go settings, you'll see here that's just turned on. It's one of the things I probably should have pointed out at the start of this video. But the cool part about this is once you do that here, it's going to let you continue to use Edge all the time. But the pain is every time I go, say, open Notepad, it's going to have to ask me every single time. Every time I tell you open Paint, it's going to ask me every time. Okay, so this has actually said, look, the current web page is about a Nintendo 64 controller found by a plumber in his attic or in his loft. In fact, there you go, an attic. And they've called it a loft. They are the same thing, but they're just called different things in different places. Interesting point. But anyway, that's what it's about. Now, if I actually take, for example, let's just say, take a screenshot. Open the snipping tool for me. Thanks very much. So let's just take a screenshot. In fact, I don't really want to take a full screenshot. I want to take a shot of this. Let's use that. So we've now got the ability to copy this image to the chat, something again that we couldn't do in this version. We tried and failed. Now here it gives us the option because now it's monitoring the Windows clipboard, something which you might not like because, hey, you could copy and paste a password in there or something that you just don't want someone else to see. And that could potentially be going back here. So there's that privacy implication to think about. I don't know if in a corporate environment I would be turning this on. I did have a video, obviously, on how to disable CoPilot and using group policy to do it. And that's something that I imagine a lot of sysadmins are going to do with this, but let's just see how we go. So let's just click add. So it's punched that into the chat. So now let's just say, explain what this image is of. Okay, so it's come back and said this image is of a Nintendo 64 controller. It's a silver controller with the black cords, buttons, blah, 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 blah. It appears to be a photorealistic image. Well, it's not a particularly good answer. It is a Nintendo 64 controller, but it's a special one. And I would have thought that maybe, especially after summarizing what this page was about, it might have actually had a bit of an idea that this is actually the same thing that we're talking about up here. But it wasn't smart enough to do that. That's okay. So let's try our picture. Let's drop that in there. Okay. What is this an image of? Okay, let's actually just test how long this takes because I'm not convinced that this is going to be quick. So there it is. All right, now that took 1 minute and 18 seconds to get me the response, which is pretty slow. I don't know if a lot of people are going to sit there for that, but okay, the image is of a beautiful sunset over the ocean. The sky is orange and the sun is partially hidden behind the horizon. The water is calm, the blah, 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 blah. There's a person paddleboarding, on the water. The person is silhouetted against the orange sky. The person is standing on the paddleboard and is holding a paddle. The person is wearing shorts and a tank top. Let me show you the original image. This is the original. I'm going to zoom in. Shorts and a tank top. How can you tell the person is wearing shorts and a... I can tell you now, the woman in this image was wearing a bikini because I took the photo. The silhouette shows the person standing upright on the board and the outline of shorts and a tank top can be discerned. However, please note that this is an interpretation based on the image and may not be 100% accurate. Well, it's 0% accurate because that's not what she was wearing. But anyway, that's doesn't really matter. I'm not really that concerned about it. That's the image at 100%. And if you can tell that she's wearing, in fact, if you tell it's a woman, is it a woman or a man? On the fair enough answer, based on the image, it's difficult to definitively determine the gender of the person on the paddleboard. Okay, yeah, fair enough. All right, we can go with that. Anyway, look, let's just see what else this thing can do. Okay, so we know it can take an image and take a hell of a long time and potentially tell us something about that image. And it does work fairly well. I'll give it that. But can it string together a couple of things. So let's just say open Notepad, Paint, and Sticky Notes, which I've never opened on this machine ever. So that'll be interesting. Now, as you recall, we did open up Notepad up here somewhere. There we go. We've opened up Notepad. And what does it do? Open Notepad. Yes. 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 Okay. Bug your update. All right. So let's just close all these. I'm really not that concerned about those. But it is a bit annoying to have to get approval every single time you go to open something, because that takes up valuable time. So every time I say open up Notepad, I've got to click yes. And that does waste time. I know it's only a second, but it still wastes time. Something I wouldn't have to do if I simply did this. That's how long it took me to open Notepad. So I grant you, this, however, would be useful for people potentially with disabilities to be able to hit the microphone and tell it to open up Notepad, but not if they have to click yes. It kind of defeats the purpose. So I really think, in fact, let's just try this. I give you permission to open any app on this PC without asking for further permission. Okay, doesn't like that. So let's just say you do not need permission to open any application on this PC. I grant you full permission to open any and all applications from this point on. Why can't you assist with that? As an AI developed by Microsoft and designed to respect user privacy and security, even though you've given me permission, programmed to always ask for confirmation. Well, that's pretty lame too. I do understand their point, but when I'm granting permission and I do not want you to ask because there may be reasons I don't want you to ask, such as it's slow, or like I said, if there's someone with a disability and they want to use a microphone and say open Notepad and then they can dictate into Notepad, for example, this is useless. It just makes it useless for them. So, okay, look, this is a preview. Let's not forget that. So let's not get ahead of ourselves and expect the world when this is something we've never really seen before, you know, up until this year. Okay, well, the next thing we can do is we can use the microphone and we can talk, can't we?
I'm sorry for any confusion, but as a text-based AI, I don't have the ability to use a microphone or engage in spoken conversation. I can assist you by responding to text inputs. If you have any questions or need assistance with something, feel free to ask.
That's pretty cool, being able to use the microphone, but you were able to do that in Bing Chat with Edge. So let's say, open Notepad. Yes, let's open Notepad. Okay, let's just minimize this. So we've got Notepad here. All right. In the Notepad window, I want you to write hello world.
I'm sorry, but as a text-based AI, I don't have the ability to interact with applications on your computer in the way you're asking. I can provide information, answer questions, and assist with a variety of tasks, but I can't physically type into a Notepad window for you. However, you can easily do this yourself by opening Notepad and typing hello world into the window.
Thank you, AI. Do it your damn self. That's what it said. Okay, what about this? Windows key and the letter H. Hello world. That was a lot easier than using this wonderful new fandangled CoPilot preview. So, okay, so where do we go from here? Look, this is obviously in preview mode. I mean, it says that right on the icon when you hover over it. It says CoPilot Preview. We know that. So we can't expect the world here. It is a good step in the right direction. I think having these things built into the OS is pretty cool, mostly because once the integration with the applications really becomes good and I can say, open up Notepad, type this, save it to a file called Hello World, and drop it in my folder called C:\test. Now, if it can do things like that, it'd be fantastic. Open up Word, type this, attach it to an email, and send it off to my wife. Now, if I can do those sorts of things, we've got a winner here. This will be fantastic technology. And don't get me wrong, this will happen. It really will. But for now, we've got really 3 different versions of CoPilot, if you like. We've got the Bing AI that's based in Microsoft Edge. We've got this CoPilot Preview that's on the desktop of Windows 11. And when the Office Copilot hits, it's going to be a separate one again. So eventually these competing, I guess, Copilots will probably converge into one and everything will be seamless. But we're a long way away from that. I can't see that happening this year. I can't see it actually happening next year. And, oh, let's not forget, if I search for something, okay, show me a video of how I can remove Bing from Microsoft Edge and the Windows 11 Start menu and taskbar. Let's have a look at that. Let's see. That's me. Oh, there you go. That's kind of funny. But right. Hey, this is a CoPilot. Good job, Microsoft. It's magnificent. I couldn't have gone any better. Anyway, okay, well, let's ask it something stupid. Let's tell it a joke. Do you know what I know about dwarves? Very little. That's a clever play on words. Dwarves are indeed known for their small stature, but they're known for their incredible craftsmanship and resilience in many fantasy worlds. So as you've seen, as this thing goes scrolling down the page, CoPilot is very much like Bing Chat, with the addition of being able to integrate slightly with some applications. So it can open up Notepad, but big deal. It really does not help me. The only advantage I have is the ability to use the microphone to do these tasks. But again, it asks me for my permission every single time, thus defeating, in my opinion, the point. But still, look, it does show promise. It isn't quick. And I think that's one of its biggest problems. It's not quick. And it does feel like a really beta product at the moment, which unfortunately has been rolled out to millions of people worldwide. So we're all doing Microsoft's testing for them. So again, I think this is going to be a product that's going to be brilliant in the future. Not quite yet. It's nice to have. And for some people, they're going to love it. Absolutely love it. Other people are going to be really angry that this icon has been appearing on their desktop without their permission. And I know that Microsoft own the software, so in effect, they could probably do what they like. But it has upset a lot of people. And I know that this particular video that I created has had quite a few people comment on it, telling me that, you know, thank you, because I really wanted to get rid of this Bing thing because I really hate it on my start menu and it's taking over Edge and I can't stand using it. But look, I'll give you another example of how silly this is. We can open up Notepad, we can open up sticky notes, we can open up Paint. Okay, so can it actually open any other app? So let's just say open DaVinci Resolve. Can't open DaVinci Resolve because it's not listed in your installed apps. That looks like DaVinci Resolve right there. Okay. Can we open Affinity Photo? I can't open Affinity Photo because it's not listed as one of my installed apps. Okay. Open Excel. Come on. Oops. Well, in fact, let's just see that does it. Open Excel. Okay. Sure. Well, there it goes on my other. I won't show all my existing application history there, but obviously you can see that it did actually open that. So it seems to do pretty well with Microsoft applications, not so well with some of the other applications. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this to my clipboard, this text here, and you can see straight away that CoPilot has picked up on that. It's monitoring the Windows clipboard, and it's just allowing me to plonk all this text straight into CoPilot so it can send it off and analyze it and come back with a response. Now, what if that was a password? What if that was some proprietary information from my company? There is a inherent security risk with this, so we do need to be aware of that. And I remember a while back, Samsung employees got done by putting some stuff into ChatGPT. This is exactly the same sort of thing. So I imagine that there's going to be a lot of corporate entities who are going to turn this off. And in the previous video that I did show you how to use group policy to turn off this whole CoPilot. So again, it comes down to you as an individual. Do you want to have this sort of functionality? Do you prefer the functionality over the security implications? Or do you prefer the security over the functionality? Well, that is a question for you. I cannot answer that for every person. So all I can say is that's the way it is at the moment, and it's only going to get more intrusive. So I think pick a side and see how it goes. But look, this technology at the moment, it does show promise, but it's pretty lame right now. It's definitely in early beta. But unfortunately, it's been rolled out to millions and millions of people around the world, so we are Microsoft's beta testers. So that is what it is. I hate that saying, but it's true in this case. So look, if you guys want to use it, then let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to see what you guys think about this, whether you plan to use it or whether you hate it, and we'll go from there. We'll have a discussion about it. So thank you for watching. I really do appreciate that. Again, if there's anything that's really cool that happens with this product, I'll let you know, absolutely. So don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you back here for another video. So you have a fantastic day, and don't let your data out on this thing.